What's going on, everyone? So let's talk about Lonnie Walker. I've seen a lot of people mention in the comment section, like, hey, we should re-sign Lonnie Walker. He's still available. He'd be great to have, right? And he was a real fan favorite for the Lakers last go around. Lakers really loved him. Laker fans really loved him. And also, he was huge in that Warriors series, right? Like, he was arguably the biggest factor for us actually getting through that. He just had that, what was it, the fourth quarter where he just went off. So, look, I like Lonnie Walker a lot. But getting into the kind of nitty gritty of it, when it comes to signing Lonnie Walker, the Lakers have no way to do that right now, right? So if they were to bring in Lonnie Walker, it to me would be predicated on them making a trade, making some type of move, right? A lot of people don't believe that the Lakers are going to do that. I still think that the Lakers do something, but again, it's always a possibility that they do nothing. They do nothing, then Lonnie Walker's off the table regardless. Any free agent is off the table regardless. But I do think the Lakers pull off some type of trade, and the free agency market is very thin right now. It's not like there's this like just influx of talent. So, Lonnie Walker, you can make an argument, is one of the better players available. Look, I like Lonnie Walker a lot. I think as a vacuum scorer off the bench, just comes in, give you, 12 points a game or whatever. Right? Like, I think he's a guy that could go a long way. His ability to play off ball, shoot the ball, his familiarity with the Lakers, LeBron James, Anthony Davis and stuff, his ability to apply rim pressure, get to the rim, that athleticism, right? He's a guy that can score in bunches. He's not the most consistent. He's a major liability on the defensive side. There's times where, often more times than not, where he's essentially unplayable. Again, there's a reason a guy like Malik Monk is getting $17.5 million a year, and Lonnie Walker can't get more than a vet minimum, and he's still available right now, right? Because you look at them, it's like they're very similar in a lot of ways. Just that vacuum scorer, kind of undersized. Like they have athleticism. Lonnie Walker's athleticism is great, but you kind of look at them and you're like, oh man, he could kind of be the Malik Monk for this Lakers team. But Malik Monk is very consistent. Right, he goes and he's able to get you 15 to 20 on a nightly basis. Where, a guy in Lonnie Walker, he has his struggles at times, and when his shot isn't falling, right, you can't play him. And the biggest issue is where and who does he play over, right? Because he's not like 6'6", 6'7", or where like, you could, with his athleticism, you kind of slot him over to the 3. He's a 2, right? Like he's a guy that, again, is a vacuum scorer that you throw out there on the basketball court and just say, hey, go crazy, right? And you look at the 2s and it's like, well, you have Austin Reeves, you have Dalton Connect now, you have Max Christie, and that's not counting other guys that could just like D'Lo could shift over to the 2, assuming you keep him, right? You could kind of go with, like, do you go with Jalen Trevino at times? Is he eventually going to get an opportunity? Like, what are we doing here with him? Right? Like, I just, Cam Reddish. I know people probably would be like, oh, I'd rather have Lonnie Walker, but Cam Reddish is also 6'8", long, lengthy, and was very good defensively for the Lakers. Right? So, again, it's just, where do you slot Lonnie Walker in to where he's going to have a real opportunity? I think if the Lakers bring Lonnie Walker in, he's probably just riding the pine, right? Like, I mean, that's not even counting Maxwell Lewis, stuff like that, which I would play Lonnie Walker over Maxwell Lewis. But again, it's like you just have this influx of guys. Now, again, if the Lakers pull off some type of trade where, say they trade Gabe Vincent and they trade D'Angelo Russell and they trade like several of these guys where it's like, okay, it would be nice to kind of have that insurance policy at like the 2 guard, right? Yeah, you got Reeves and you got Christie, but maybe at times you kind of run like Reeves at the point and then go like Lonnie Walker at the 2. Defensively, that'd be terrible. But, off like against bench units or whatever. Or maybe you go like like Lonnie Walker at the point, but he's not really the point. Maybe it's with LeBron to where, they're just initiating. And it's like Lonnie Walker with Max Christie and like, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron, and AD at times. Right, just kind of names. I wouldn't necessarily hate that, but even then, it's just like, if Dalton Connect is what he looked like in Summer League, you're not playing Lonnie Walker over him. And you're probably going to have to play Dalton Connect. And if you're going to play him any type of significant minutes, probably going to have to slot him at the 3, which with his size, his length, and his athleticism, you can do that, right? I worry a little bit about it defensively, but I think offensively you'd be fine. But even then, still, you're talking about, you have, like, let's just say they do a salary dump for Reddish and, Wood, right? Like the Lakers are trying to do, and you could bring in Lonnie. Like, I'd rather bring in Spencer Dinwiddie. Right? I know some people are like super low on Spencer Dinwiddie, but he also played out of position the entire time he was with the Lakers, right? Put Anthony Davis as your 2 guard and tell me how good Anthony Davis looks, right? Again, you put guys out of position, they're going to look bad. Like, when you have a guy that has his entire career played the point guard position and operating the point guard, it has never, can play off ball a little bit, but it doesn't do it heavily because, again, he's the point guard. Now has to slot and be primarily the 3 and D wing because he's 6'6". Like, that's just silly, right? It's not a coincidence that the only game Spencer Dinwiddie got to play and run the point for a full game was the game that D'Lo missed, and Lonnie Walker, Spencer Dinwiddie, there we go, I knew I'd get it eventually. Spencer Dinwiddie is one of those guys that, he was able to operate, what did he drop that game, like 26 and 9 or something like that? Like, he was very good. Why? Because that's his position, right? That's what he plays best. Yes, he could play the 2, he could slide over, but to me, it's like, I would rather go with like a Spencer Dinwiddie who can slot in and play the point, but also play the 2, but also has the size and athleticism and is multiple use than a guy like a Lonnie Walker. Also worth noting, the only game the Lakers won last year without D'Angelo Russell was that one game that Spencer Dinwiddie slotted in at the point. Fun little fact for those that didn't know. I know some of you know because I talked about it a lot. But like, to me, it's like, again, I like Lonnie Walker as a player. It's just, if the Lakers were in need of like another kind of bucket getter, another rim pressure guy, right? Which they are, but at like Zach LaVine level as opposed to a Lonnie Walker level. Like, if the Lakers were in the market for like, hey, we just need like a vacuum scorer off the bench. We don't really have that. Then sure, right? Like, go get that. Right, like, I think Lonnie Walker would be good for a team, as much as this pains me to say, but like a team like Denver. Like, I think Lonnie Walker just as like, again, that vacuum scorer that come in and go get you 15 on any given night, just randomly. I think that there's some value for that for a roster that doesn't have much depth. But a team like the Lakers, our needs are like perimeter wings, big men, and then if we pull off some type of trade, probably a point guard, because D'Lo's probably going in any type of trade we get done, right? I just don't, like, Lonnie Walker isn't capable of being your starting point guard. He's not capable of being your starting 2, right? He is what he's been his entire career, which is a guy that can come in and on any given night, on any given moment, he can go get, 15 to 25, right? And, when he's on, get out of his way and let him cook, right? Let Himmy be Himmy. Right, but it's that coin flip at times. Again, he actually had a very good season with Brooklyn, but Brooklyn's like, it's all right. Why? Because again, he's kind of game to game at times. I like him a lot, but you look at some of the guys that are similar, and they're all getting bags. And you look at him and it's like, why is he on a vet minimum contract? Why hasn't anyone picked him up yet? What is going on here? And then it's like, oh, well, if you actually watch him play regularly, and that was the problem with the Lakers, right? Like, he had great stretches for the Lakers, but he also had inconsistency moments, right? And yes, like, he had that stretch where, he was averaging, what was he averaging? Like 15 a game for the Lakers, just being a vacuum scorer. But even then, it's like, the Lakers have so many guys that you just are more versatile that you want over him at the position he plays. It's kind of like the last thing the Lakers need. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think, like, yeah, stay away from Lonnie Walker? We don't need Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker, we have enough at that position. Again, I know he's a fan favorite. I know a lot of people really like Lonnie Walker, and a lot of people, like, would basically do anything to have him on the Lakers roster, and, even as, like, the 15 guy. Again, like, if he's okay with just, like, hey, I just want to get on the roster, I just want to be on a roster spot, like, if I play at times, cool. If I don't, I don't. Right? And it's like we need that guy. Like, say we only have 13 guys on the roster and there's not really anyone left, and Lonnie's like, hey, I'll come play for the vet men. Then sure, go get him. I'm not against it. But, like, to me, it's like I would, like, Tyus Jones is probably going to be needed more. Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be needed more, right? Because we're probably, if we pull off the trade, going to need a point. But I feel whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.